Today we're talking about why you might feel like your offense still stinks. You've been training, putting in the time, maybe even looking pretty good when you stand in front of the mirror and do some shadow boxing, but then you get into spar and you just can't execute in the way you know you're capable of. What's happening? We're going to touch on a couple things today, but if you're wanting more, you're in luck because the early bird pricing on my offense course, which is launching October 7th, just dropped 40% off. You guys can hit the link down below to Strike Ready Combat and you're going to be able to join this course, which will have live calls. You can bring your questions to the live calls. We have so many videos. Today is just a hint of what you could learn. And let's be realistic. Offense is not as simple as, okay, I'm just going to step in and throw a technique the same way I would in shadow boxing. So much more complicated, so much more to be able to execute those crushing combos on people, to learn how to properly exit, to learn what drills are going to work best with partner training to make sure you can really get things happening in sparring. Oh, there's so much. It's really even overwhelming putting this course together because I'm going, okay, you know what, I got, 25 videos? And I really got to get all this information in for you guys. So for today's video, we're just going to focus on a couple things, a couple of really important key elements which will help you get your offense clicking a little bit more. The first one that I really want you to understand is this time between techniques. So very often people step forward, let's say they're throwing a jab cross, boom, boom. And they just think, okay, technique's good, my hands are up, I'm exiting. But what I notice with a lot of beginners is the time between the two techniques is a little bit too long. And while you might not think there's much of a difference between those two, there really is. It makes it so much harder for this guy to block and makes it so much more difficult for him to get a counter off. And I learned that years ago when I started sparring, when I went from, my karate style where you step in and you do one thing and it stops, right? The match stops as soon as you score your point, to all of a sudden step in throwing one and then trying to get my exit, but this guy's on me throwing multiple shots. So I learned that I have to be able to go from here to here to here and get everything done in the shortest time possible while staying really snug, right? By snug, I mean when I throw my jab cross, I'm not opening up at all. My elbows aren't flaring. I'm not leaving holes. I'm not rounding my punches. I've got to keep everything really snug and boom, boom, but little time in between techniques, especially when you're going from hands to legs instead of like that, where it's actually two separate techniques. It's really got to be 1 into 2. So if you can shorten that transition time, you're going to be helping yourself out a whole lot. The next element that I want you to really try and think of is, how do I develop combos that are going to help me land? Because I guarantee you at the gym that you're at, they're teaching you very set combos. Maybe it's jab, cross, body hook, round kick. And it's just something that you guys do over and over. But what happens if the first 3 punches of that combo are something that does not feel natural to you? You never want to do it. But then because you've been taught that, you feel like, I'm kind of forced to execute those in sparring. And it's going to hold you back. So you've got to learn to develop some of your own combos. How do we develop our own combo? How do we find maybe 5 combos that are ideal for us? Very first thing that you need to do, what's my first technique? What is your favorite technique? Figure that out first. From there, you develop your style off that, your combo style off that. So a lot of people start their combos with the jab, but if you're not somebody who feels comfortable even stepping in and executing a jab, maybe you're somebody who likes that. You feel so much safer, you have so much more success with that versus that. Well, now you use this to either follow up on your combo, or you start using this as a fake to come into your combo. And when you can start doing something like that, you start developing your own style instead of using something that people teach you, which kind of puts you in a box. And you're only like, I only know like these 10 set combos, which we do on repeat. But still when I spar, I feel like it's not really working for me. Well, that's your answer. You need to start developing what works for you and base it all off initially one technique that you're great at. And the nice thing about it is you can start throwing something like, okay, my favorite technique is the left foot side kick. And I do that loads, boom. And I can scare people with that single technique. But now you can start using that, as I just mentioned, as the fake to lead in to something else. So that single technique, which is your favorite, will open up so many avenues for you. And if you guys like the tips today, again, these are just little side tips, not the big things which are really gonna help your offense develop. So link down below to StrikeReadyCombat.com. You can head over there and join this program, which is going to go on for 5 weeks. We have 5 sections, live calls in between these sections so that you can sit down and talk with me. We already did the defense. Loads of people joined. Loads of people loved it. They asked for more. I asked them, what do you want next? And they said offense. We got to follow up with offense after the defense. So I look forward to seeing you guys there. And I hope you enjoyed today's video. As always, train hard. I will see you back here very soon.